Hi, this is going to be a short video tutorial on obligation management, what it is, what it does, and how one of our customers is using this to ensure that commitments on a contract are being fulfilled. So, obligation management occurs after the contract life cycle, and an agreement contract goes through request, negotiation, approvals, signature, and onto activation or put into effect. At this time, there may be post signature actions. And so, obligation management serves this purpose to help to facilitate and remind those responsible for the obligations. And it makes it so that a contract is not just put into a repository and forgotten. So, this feature helps to ensure compliance through ownership, notifications, and follow up actions. It also adds reporting elements that help to keep track of all of this. And some contracts may even have obligations that outlast the contract itself. And through obligation management, we're able to keep up with that. Obligations are derived from the clauses in your clause library that appear on a specific contract. And some other elements of obligation management are they contain automated alerts and reminders. So that ensures that internal and external obligations are not overlooked. It also has the ability to centralize the tracking and reporting so that you can search on all of the obligations throughout your entire CFS org, making it easy to monitor the status, generate dashboards, and make more informed business decisions. You can also set up your own customized business rules for notifications, create tasks, events, and configure this workflow to match your organization's needs. Obligation management basically supports various types of obligations such as payment, delivery, confidentiality, warranty, etc. And you can also create custom obligations as necessary. So we are going to jump into contracts for Salesforce and have a look at a specific contract here as Oscar, the operations manager. And in this scenario, Oscar is going to have to follow up with an obligation on a specific contract with regards to billing and payment to ensure that invoices are being sent to this customer in a timely manner so that the business can receive payment. So we're looking at a familiar user interface here with contracts for Salesforce, and we have the basic details of this contract. We can see that it is in the active status at this time. And we just have the other details surrounding the type of contract this is and basically the dates that it has been put into effect and also the payment terms. So navigating over to the managed clauses, we're able to see that these are the managed clauses that are contained in this specific contract. So obligations are going to be tied to these clauses, and the follow up actions are going to be corresponding to what you set for these specific clauses. So Oscar is going to be primarily concerned with the billing clause, which is right here. And this clause is essentially going to be how they collect the payment for a contract that has been activated. So going back here to the contract, in order to get to the obligations, we're just going to navigate to this tab, Obligations. And from here, we will see that we have some obligations that appear on this contract. If you don't see the obligation that you want on the contract itself, you can, from the Manage Clauses, create an obligation, as long as that clause is one of the necessary clauses for that. So coming down to this billing clause, the one that's in the obligation category of payment, I'm going to click the edit button. And at this time, we're going to see that these are the details here for this specific obligation. And in order to begin the automated reminders and the task schedules, we're going to change the obligation status to confirmed. I'm going to click save, and that's going to then generate a series of actionable tasks that are going to be available. And we can then see that from, let's go back into the contract here. And we're going to navigate back to the billing, and we're going to see here the set of tasks that have been created as compliance checkpoints for billing. So we can see also that when we look at these specific tasks that have been created, that there is basically a due date for these tasks and the type of action that's necessary for this compliance. So once we notify the person that's involved in taking ownership of this, we can see that we have this now handled so that someone in the organization is aware of this, is being notified, and that this will be able to be followed up on, and we'll be able to have those invoices sent, and everything will be in order. Thank you for your time in paying attention to this short video on obligation management.